talking about the squirrel. The squirrel.
Oh, Paul's got a best friend here at the house. It's a squirrel. It's so weird having all this room.
This
Not this particular squirrel.
this particular squirrel. He drops nuts on my head.
He literally does. He's my favorite squirrel.
He so he this squirrel, before we start everything up, he's clearly been hand fed by but he's comfortable enough to come walking up to me and eat nuts or sit above my head on the eaves trough and drop the shells on my head while I'm sitting outside. It's
Squirrely Pearl. Okay, let me just see if I can get this. Let me get chat up on my phone.
I got the chat up here on
But I want chat on my phone.
Okay.
Care about your phone.
And
1.5.
when you're ready,
Friday
I'll get us fired up.
You go ahead and do it. It's fine.
All right.
There we go. We got 2 likes already.
Hey, happy Friday night of the long weekend, everybody out there. Another evening of Friday Night Aces. Canada Day coming up on Monday, and then...
You heard that? Yeah, if somebody got it, that's good. Oh, I never ever thought you. Yes, I never thought you were uncultured. I was actually kind of glad to hear you were going to be on. I was like, you know, who I haven't talked to in a long time. Red. I don't know how to get chat on my phone. Oh yeah, Adepticon. That was a thing we did. Man.
Just a minor thing.
You've no
Okay,
idea.
they can't hear red, is what they're saying on the chat.
They can't hear red? Okay, hold on.
Can't
I'll
hear
fix
red.
that.
We have no echo this time, Beskar. We sound beautiful. Ryan and I fixed it the other night.
So hearing red means that I'm going to have to mess around with the desktop audio, and we will get an echo when that happens. So talk red. Okay, here we go. All right, go again.
Now he sounds like Fonzie.
Hello.
Hello.
They're probably going to get an echo now because the desktop audio will pick it up. And if they do, we just have to turn red down on the TV
Slink, how you doing?
to get by. But I think that's okay. I think we should be good now. I just got to get my chat up here. YouTube Studio, which doesn't really give me the... There's the Care Bear stare, which is weird.
That's
But
that's
yeah,
the laser.
Just been a ton of research and like a ton of like just making more complicated scripts. Like you'll notice most of my videos since I got back from Adepticon are all like 45 minutes to like 2 hours long, and
Right.
it's not because I necessarily want them to be that way. It's just this is kind of the palette that I currently have.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Perfect.
So...
We finally got the whole crew together. It's been about a month and a half.
Oh, it's
since
been longer
everybody-
than that.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
It's been like 2-3 months.
It's been a definite age.
It says B says red is very silent.
Red is silent. Okay, that makes sense then. All right, that's good. That's good. I mean, this at least it looks it's way more clean in this office. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
If red is silent, I'm gonna turn them up. All
So
right. See if that works.
last week when we had a little bit of technical audio issues, I explained that we had come in and kind of revamped the studio. Tommy, you're actually in control of the cameras over there, so
I see.
I have control of the stream deck, which does not control the switcher.
Okay.
Yeah.
What I need to get control of right now, for some reasons, I cannot see chat
You can't see chat?
on my phone while watching this video for some reason. So what I will do, are we going through Restream or are we just going straight up?
It should be through Restream.
Oh, then I'll be able to watch the Restream chat, but I won't be able to see people's, if they super chat and stuff. So yeah, I'm going to count on you to do that.
Yeah,
if
I
there's
got it
any-
open on my computer.
any
So
memberships
Besker
or-
says, as a $2 Australian super chat, he says,
Ah.
"Squirrel still messing with you, Paul."
The squirrel will mess with me for the rest of my life.
And I've got Ferrero Rochers by the literal 1,000, and I'm going to give them to the squirrel to drop on Paul's head.
Hit camera 4 there, and you can see. Look, we got the new. No, you got to hit on the top button.
He's going to convince him
Hey, look,
to
we
shift
got-
the camera.
Oh,
way
nobody
down
wants
something.
to see this
we
crap.
We got the Tommy.
Come on. What's the next one?
The next one
2?
is there.
Oh,
that's
there's
both
my
of us,
ass.
Right?
There's my ass.
So we got that's
We've
up
got,
here.
wow, look at all these camera angles.
Now we have a 5th one, but the 5th one won't go through the switcher yet because it's only 4. We have a way to get it through the Stream Deck, but we got to download some companion software.
Yeah, that's
to do
fine.
that.
We're
We'll
going to
do that
get some upgrades soon anyway.
But we added more lighting. The table's 3 feet bigger, if you haven't noticed.
Is it actually?
Yeah. So this whole thing.
What did you
the
do?
I moved everything down. It's all back onto the original table where the soundboard
Not
is,
bad.
and the computer is.
I like this.
All the wires are off the floor for the most part. It's nice and clean.
Where's all my minis?
Your minis have been taken.
Where are they?
Which ones do you want?
Well, where's our actually? Oh, you know where they all are?
Your Lance Vander, your yellow
It's
Lance
all at
Vanders?
this. It's all at Albion, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, your Lance Vanders?
Yeah.
No. Our guys are here, the blue ones.
No.
Your yellow ones you had with you when you took the Origins.
So they're at. I didn't take the Origins. They're at the Albion.
They're at the Albion. You don't need them tonight. We're good.
They're at
all
Origins.
my dice and
still.
stuff are in there.
No.
They
Behind,
stayed
up
at
top,
Origins. They're never coming back.
Behind the display box of their. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Oh, okay. Give me a second.
I have hidden your dice.
'Cause you
so
don't like
things
these
look
dice.
Nice. I like them.
You should like them because they are from a very, very, very important channel sponsor,
Yes, I understand.
Foam Brain Games, who
You don't need all these dice. We're playing
just
classic.
don't tell me what to do.
Tommy's already fading. Tommy's already going out. He's like, "Where am I? Who are you people?"
No. Paul missed it because no one's called Paul out like that.
No, that's all good.
Tell
Yes, he's got the 2 lucky dice.
Like,
see?
Don't tell me how to play my tune. That's the thing we say on DDO. Don't tell me how to play my tune. All right, we're playing classic tonight,
We're
are
playing
we?
classic tonight. We are.
Okay, let me pull out some dice.
So one of the other things we did too, we got the 2 camera angles. We actually have a new show intro that will be debuted hopefully in the next week or 2.
Once I redo it.
Yep, Tommy's gonna mix with it a little bit, but it's pretty much done. I don't know if you watched the latest rendition of it or not, though.
I haven't seen the latest rendition of it. The music is
I've
very
watched
it's very Paul.
Well, the music's raunchy. That's the whole point of it, right?
It's fine. I think it's great. I love the initiative, though. I mean, nobody can ever fault Paul for just being a freaking go-getter. Just an honest to goodness,
Get it done.
get it done kind of guy. There's tape under here that
Yeah.
fell off, and his.
I know. I told you. What was the message? This is an alien substance. Nothing sticks to this piece of MDF.
Oh, that makes now it makes sense. But the tape just stuck to my leg.
It'll
hairs.
stick to your leg.
Yeah, that was great.
Well, yeah, because tape will still stick to you even if it doesn't stick.
I guess
to
I got to
MDF.
shave further than you know.
Yeah. So
We here at Six Heads Gaming express our own interests, and our political views are that of our own, and we don't, as a sponsor by Catalyst Game Labs, we do not share their views. No, wait,
we should
the-
have
the
have
views-
you on camera saying this so that you can
I
be
am
actually
I
held
am a
accountable.
guest. Just to be clear, I am a guest. Everything I say is only my opinion.
Right,
So-
exactly. We aren't Catalyst Game Labs in terms of view. They should not be hung for the things that we say,
That's correct.
Oh,
and we should not be hung for the things that they say.
There you go. Even better.
So
We are hung
apparently
to the left.
Kicks-
They are hung to the right.
apparently-
We're good.
Apparently, the Kickstarter is supposed to be shipping.
It
as far
is.
as I
It
hear.
is. I don't know the stringent details of it, but I do know that fulfillment has begun, which is changing a few things from our perspective. Big update from my end, everyone. All right.
No. See,
It's
look,
why does it have to be this close?
It's
like why is it
perfect.
this close?
it's
This is like
perfect. It's perfect.
hello everybody.
Perfect.
I feel like I'm doing a true talk. Aces is really coming along. It's super good. You have the decks.
I have Banquo's deck.
Banquo's deck.
It's Banquo's deck.
He likes it with these hard cards.
Yes, much better.
He likes them
Very
hard.
hard.
So the Aces deck has. This is even out of date now. This is vastly out of date now. It's crazy how fast it goes.
I know there's one alternate.
We had so many wonderful meetings at Origins regarding Aces and and how it is progressing. A lot of the public announcement for Aces has been held off until, like, the public discussions was held off until Mercenaries was fulfilling, and it's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do. We want to make sure that fulfillment happens and that everybody is happy. Which we know there's going to be a bunch of snafus, but so far people's stuff is delivering, and then we'll be able to once I think now at the stage in the game, I think we're going to start talking about what's next for Aces and how we can start publicly announcing it. And unfortunately, also I just would like to say huge condolences from Six Sides of Gaming to Randall for his mother passing away. Randall is one of the if the world is full of crap, Randall is the clean side of things. He is the beacon of light that he actually gives me faith in humans. Like, because we're all filled with
really
drama.
sad.
We're literally all filled with drama.
That's really sad to hear.
Yes. And as he posted publicly, this isn't a thing that happened in a tragic form. This is a walk of life, and there's definitely a celebration to happen there. But as such, this circumstance will, not going to call him up and be like, "Hey, can we talk about Aces right now?" So we're going to keep it massively respectful until he's ready to come back into the swing of things. That being said, Gen Con is around the corner, and we'll be there with Aces in hand, just like we were at Origins, and apparently it was really well received at Origins for what we did there. And yeah, so I'm switching my my camera to apparently this one, so Paul and I can talk.
Oh, you go to the one higher.
The one higher, is that two?
There you go.
As far as
And that
I
one's up
know, I'm pretty sure that they're going to have a BattleTech novel release next month as well, around
Yes.
the same time, which is going to be In the Shadow of the Dragon by Craig Reed.
Well,
So that's
yes.
also pretty exciting.
I will also say that there's going to be more than just the box sets that we have planned for Aces. The product line has extended almost without, not contractually yet, but it's exploding beyond what our original scope was because of the public reception. People, apparently you guys have been sending information to Catalyst and saying how excited you are for it, and that is being heard. So if you have a chance, and you want to get your voice heard about how excited you are for it, send your stories. We've got stores that are running Aces currently with the old deck that came in on the MUL that was put out for the Kickstarter backers.
Yeah.
We got old decks being in circulation where stores are already running their own programming with it. We've got families that have posted saying, my kids are now into this because of this. And this is not like a light thing. This is a lot of people are posting stuff to Catalyst about this, and it's changing a lot. And internally, everybody who we've worked with, all the hierarchy from Ciravella to Helfers to Ray, they are beyond excited for what is coming in terms of Aces, and they're constantly augmenting the package by adding more to it. So it's becoming a big deal. Paul and I'll have to have our hangout later because Paul doesn't know anything because I've been away for so long. I'm here for a while, and then Gen Con. So we'll try and get as much of this in as possible before we get to Gen Con. But anyway, that's
I wish I had the time to go to Gen Con.
Oh, you need to go to Gen Con.
I don't have the time.
Yeah.
It's too many projects, too many things to get done.
Save up your energies for Adepticon Milwaukee next year.
I am planning to try to get out to Adepticon again next year.
We should try and get all the mech together.
Yeah.
Every time I have plans for anything this year, I'm like, "Oh, that'd be great." I'm like,
but that means
I
means
don't
we'd
have
actually
that.
have to get techs out to a.
We'll work it out. All right,
To a
let me read this
convention.
chat here. Oh, we got a super chat from Beskar. Thank you, Beskar. It is nice to see these super chats coming back in. Oh God, whoa! Where'd all these gifted memberships come from?
so Besker
Whoa.
donated 5 gifted memberships.
Wow,
Richard
thank
Dewar,
you.
Calico Empathy, Morfirm, Adam Kerr, and Nokirian all received memberships thanks to the incredible generosity of Besker. In his super chat, he also said, "Tommy is not allowed to leave. He's got lots to make up for. 24-hour stream has begun and shall not end. until we get our Tommy deficiencies resolved. So, Tommy, you are now, because of a $5 super chat, obligated to be here for 24 hours. How does that feel?
I mean, it feels pretty crazy, but Beskar cannot be the one to do this. But if you guys keep throwing super chats and memberships, I'll stay on all night. No, I can't. I've got other things I have to prepare for. Speaking of prepare for, actually do. Seriously, I cannot stay on all night. Update on the channel, and then we'll get right into this. So, Beskar, you're gonna love this. On Sunday, not live streamed, sadly. On Sunday, we are filming the first, either 7 or 8, depending on how many we get in throughout the day. Our first grouping of a show called Chumps Change, The Survivors of the Deadliest Dungeon, and we're bringing Jowdrad, Dovrik, the Keymaster, and Gambit back, and we will be. That's a bit choppy, eh?
The video itself is a bit choppy. I don't think the audio is.
I wonder if is it just the overhead that's chopping?
Like just watching the stream.
But my computer froze, so I refreshed it. Right, like I was completely frozen.
Okay, what's his name saying is
the screen itself is stopping and going.
I'll check it on my phone here.
Boo.
You get to see the motion blur from
it's
Tommy.
it's choppy. It's pretty choppy. Look on your screen. Yeah, that's sad. We can't do that.
The audio is normal, but
I wonder if it's just that camera or not.
No, it's both. It's all the cameras. It's all of them. I saw it earlier when it shifted to you as well.
Oh, so when I was talking, it was choppy too?
When it shifted just to your face earlier, yes.
Yeah, I can see it being a little choppy there.
There is a way to reduce that chop in OBS, but that requires a restart of the stream if it's that kind of choppiness. I don't know if it is. Let me see here. I don't know if it is. Big Chop was Paul's nickname in high school, says Mr. Beeps.
Oh, probably.
I wonder if it is it. Let me just take a look at the stream health. Anyway, in the meanwhile, I'll tell you. So we're filming this show called Chumps Change. It is the Survivors of the Deadliest Dungeon. It is an actual long-form campaign that we'll be filming once a month, once every 6 to 8 weeks or so. Oh yeah, we got bad frameage, bad connection. That's why it's choppy. What solves that problem? The internet being reset. I wonder if we'll lose it and restart it if the internet gets reset.
So it won't end your stream if you lose your connection. It will end your stream if you change settings through YouTube.
All right. So we're probably gonna chop for a second. I'm gonna reset the little side modem. It'll kick up like 2 seconds. Just give us a sec.
I'm still here. I haven't left you. I haven't abandoned you. I'm not Tommy. I know.
But yeah, I would really have loved to have been able to make it to Gen Con, but just don't have the time. That's the cold hard truth of it.
Are we back up and running again here now?
Is it working?
Well, let's see you guys move your hand on stream.
It says yellow on my end, so that's better than red. Oh, it's green now. Okay, maybe it just needed a small reset.
Oh, you guys should. Yeah, you're.
Oh yeah, there we go.
No,
yeah. It worked.
You're good
I
now.
saw.
Yeah,
I saw.
you're good now. Yep.
Now we're good.
There we go.
Hello. Now you can see me. So we are filming Chumps Change, Survivors of the Deadliest Dungeon. We are going to be filming long form, 1 hour episodes, just like Legacy of Worlds. So since Rentech Riders is gone, we're going to do the Deadliest Dungeon instead. And so you'll see Dovrik, Keymaster, Jowdrad, and Gambit. They will be, it'll be a short period of time after surviving the Dungeon of Tharius. And they are like war vets having a drink, figuring out what happens next in a low pressure world where you get to see them just partake in an actual D&D game as opposed to this high pressure everyone's trying to kill them.
Well, I mean, like, can Jowdrad really survive a session though? Is that allowed?
So we are going to make it lethal. We want to make it lethal, but what's going to happen is it's not audience influenced. But now what's going to happen is that if something happens where it becomes somewhat lethal for the party member. We can't want to give away the storyline for it, but they avoid death now. They don't die and come back. They can avoid death by bargaining with a dark force that will give them a very hilarious curse. So we'll get to that.
He's speaking in a different language. I haven't played
Yeah.
D&D since. Oh no, I guess I played D&D the opening weekend at the Albion.
Yeah, you
That's
played
right.
D&D with me. You were
That's
actually
right.
really good at playing the game.
A huge thank you to Sergeant Orc, who has
Sergeant Orc,
donated
what?
$10 to Six Sides tonight. Thank you very much, sir.
Whoa!
I mentioned
Thank you,
this-
Sergeant Orc.
I mentioned this last Friday when we had Dave on, and now it's actually officially happened. And I want to say thank you to everybody out there for all your support because we actually hit 40,000 subscribers.
Yes. What an explosion lately.
Yeah.
Wow. It slowed down a little bit, which is interesting. It was like this weird tsunami that kind of came over, and then it's just like, it's just kind of like it's still pacing up. It's still going quite rapidly, but it just slowed down significantly over the last few weeks. But we appreciate that a lot for the support there. Now we're at the point where we need to do more live stream programming. I do have some programming coming. I'm going to bring my True Talk back.
We have more as well for Battletech.
Yep, more Battle Talk. My True Talk is going to be an Ask Me Anything, and I'm just gonna do stuff while I'm live, so you can talk to me. I'm blaming Red for this because Red does things, and then as he's doing things, he just talks.
Well, this is good. Then I'll just jump on with you from home.
Yeah, you can.
What do
totally
you
do
mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? What's that supposed to mean? I just talk. I don't understand what you're talking about.
it. Yeah, right. So
I think probably we should get to playing some Battletech here since everybody.
Thank
Right,
you very
well-
much, Steve, for your 9 months of membership as a Six Side
Oh,
supporter
man.
who says, on to new adventures.
B is a six Vander. She's like a six-sider and a Lynn Vandarian. A six Vandarian. And
And we've got Besker, who also says, "Fooey, no bribery, damn it. It's confirmed that the dungeon will be lethal to all but the Keymaster." Oh,
look,
that's true too.
we thought about doing another.
Tommy slants the table so the Keymaster will always live.
No,
I know.
listen to me. You know what? Hold on. That's not enough. You have to see my eyes. Listen to me. Look into my eyes. Okay? Then none of that was staged. None of that. It was like,
You know what? I completely understand. If I were publicly called out in this way, I would do my very best to avoid the consequences of my actions as well.
Paul's gonna avoid the consequences of his own action. So none of that was staged. Like these big bombs to try and kill him, and then you had like all these like knife fighters coming in from the side to keep the Keymaster alive, like B and Richter and Mitz and Hutton just came in out of nowhere. Reality speaking, I played the rogue like a rogue.
Yeah.
He was a coward sometimes, but he's a goblin rogue. You'll get to learn a lot more about this thing. But let's get into Battletech. We're into Battletech.
All right. So
Guys are here for Battletech. Sergeant Orc's here for Battletech.
we
Beskar is
haven't
here for Battletech.
we haven't had the gang all together for about a month and a half, 2 months. So we kind of rambled on there, guys. Apologies. What's going on there?
Oh, man.
Did it just freeze out?
Next again. I don't know. Maybe it's because Jonathan's playing Dungeons and Dragons online. Jonathan's in the other room playing.
Somebody is consuming the bandwidth. The
Yeah.
bandwidth is being consumed. Your upload rate is being
And
deprived.
If anybody out there doesn't know, it's Devin's birthday today. So make sure you
Yeah, it's Devin's birthday
you
today.
you
kill
inbox
your
bomb
stream.
him.
Like kill the video on it. Pause it. Because any bandwidth we can save at this point
Yep.
is worth doing.
So yeah, make sure if you know Devin on social media, jump in there, wish him a happy birthday. But with that said, we haven't been together for about a month and a half, 2 months to get everybody together. So I've been running with various people on the channel, running different ACES scenarios
Yep, yeah,
that
you've been
we've
playing.
compiled together. In addition to that, we've been also running games live with the community at the Trading Post at the Albion Hotel here local in Guelph. That coincides with everything we're doing on the show. So a culmination of all that, if you've been paying attention and following along, Lance Vander last week escaped the initial invasion of the Jihad on Darren and have arrived on Solaris. And we are going to be having a Solaris charity match at the Boral Reach Arena, which is in the Davian sector of Solaris City. Red, if you want to fill anybody in on the gory details of the Black Hills area, you're probably a little better than I am.
Sorry, I was
Aside,
only half listening there. I was congratulating Devin on his birthday.
oh, there you go.
That's right.
So
I did what you told me to do.
so if you're looking at the board right now, you can see that we've built kind of an arena here. Okay, so
We know it might be choppy. I think it's because one of the other people in the other studio here, Jonathan from the DDO crowd, is playing Dungeons and Dragons online. He's probably draining the bandwidth, but we've never had this issue before. I don't know what's draining it. Something's draining it. But we'll figure it
It's
out.
called Canadian Telecom.
It sucks so bad.
it's the
I
great-
don't know
Welcome
why
to
it's so
Canada.
choppy. It's
Welcome
pissing
to
me
Canada.
off.
This is my lived experience in real time.
Right. It's
So
for sure.
is this the background you sent over to me earlier? By the way, Fox
this
Network?
is yeah.
Yeah,
we
so
do-
I will read this verbatim for everyone.
There you go.
Lin Six always figured himself good at card games, as he
Nice.
mused his hand peripherally while staring at his adversary. A short, graying man of obvious wealth peeled the corner card of the table, giving one last glance. Boo this man. Boo! Giving one last glance as he placed his chips front and center to call. So tell me about this Barchala house, Mr. Hallis, he quipped, feeling assured the hand was his. We are broker. We are broker?
Paul wrote this, not me. He thinks it
Paul,
was
Paul,
funny.
you're killing me. You're a broker. One
like
who
this.
helps our clients. We are a broker. One who helps our clients collect what is owed to them. He responded, motioning nervously to reveal his hand. Not so fast. Double or nothing on the side here. What do you think? Said Lin Six, now with smug confidence.
Always, as always.
I had to remove a word there for that sentence to work.
This is even better, actually.
As a Solaris man, I cannot turn down a good bet. So I will take one further step. If you win, I will grant you access to our full inventory with a 50% discount. If I win, you owe me one favor, responded Hallis, peering over with one eye. Sounds good to me, said Lin Six, with a wily wince, awaiting the cards to be revealed. And this was on June 10th, 3068.
Ooh.
All right. So what we do, we got a celebrity death match or charity match going on in the arena here. So you cannot extend or move outside of the Ring of Hills. Okay. The combatants in this fight are going to be myself in my lamb. We also have Tommy in his Highlander.
That's right.
Versus Red piloting a Stalker as the former Grand Champion of Solaris, Win Goodard, and the current Grand Champion of Solaris, Kelly Metz, piloting a Wraith. Now, we're gonna play, I don't know, 6 or 7 turns. We'll see how far we get into it and how long it's gonna take. Obviously, the side that is left standing is going to win the match. Now, during the course of the match, we do have a special guest that's going to make an appearance. We will roll a d6 between Tommy, myself, and Red. Okay, whoever wins the d6 roll, will get control of the special guest.
We have a special guest.
We have a special guest.
Is this a person coming on, or
this is not a person coming on, but this will be a special guest in the arena for combat.
Right. Thank you for
So-
the other super chats while we're talking.
So the special guest has a tendency not to like me, particularly.
Oh, so it's like everyone.
It's like Luthor. So on a D6 roll.
Sir Lex Luthor is a Superman villain. Thank you very much.
So on a
D6
D6 roll,
You actually have a squirrel? This is ridiculous.
On a D6 roll,
This is so dumb.
on a 6, I can control Luthor. On anything else, you guys control him. He has to attack me.
I mean, he only has a short range of 1 damage, though.
Well, he's a protomech, right?
so he should have a
so-
skill
so
4,
take-
but it
take-
should be skill
Take a
0
look
when
at Luthor.
attacking Paul.
Actually, take a look at Luthor. What is Luthor?
A squirrel.
He's a squirrel.
No, but what kind of squirrel is he?
He's a red squirrel.
He's an Evil Dead squirrel.
Oh, he's always one of my Evil Dead squirrels. That's right. Excellent, excellent.
Okay,
I like
so
it.
on turn 2, he can come out. He will start in the middle of the board. Whoever controls him is going to, unless it's me, is going to be attacking me in addition. Okay? So
So he's considered an infantry, right, or a proto-mech?
it's a protomech, right?
Oh,
So
is this actually a proto-mech stat?
yeah.
Interesting.
That's
Proto-mech
and there
record
he is.
sheet.
There's his sheet there. And so everybody can see him and his little face. Up on the-
Interesting. I didn't even realize proto-mechs were a thing.
Oh, they are. They're not a thing technically in the Jihad era, but I had to make something small and
Yeah, it's really
to,
cool.
to represent them, right? So
I like
Actually,
that.
protomechs are definitely in the Blakist era. Actually,
are they? Okay. cool.
Yeah.
So with that said, we'll play with the initiative cards tonight instead of rolling initiative because I'm sick of losing dice rolls.
But I like the initiative cards. So we're steady at. Oh yeah, we're dropping hard. Oh, well, I'll do a quick reset again. Just get one last try.
I don't know if it's the greatest idea for me to be specifically one side of the opposition, just because
because I
I'm-
pilot a land
I'm
and
likely-
you're gonna rage hate on me. I know that.
no, it's likely because I only got about an hour left.
That's okay.
Of
That's
time.
okay.
That's
No,
okay. We
just-
can just play.
So
And
we're doing this for fun.
And we're back up to green for now. Let's hope for the best. Let me know if it chops again, but we should be okay for a bit. It's that stupid little charger thing. It's just not picking up signal. All right, we're good enough for now. Let's play. Just get a game in at least.
All right, let's do it. So we're gonna each card individually. You can use the powers on the card.
Okay.
So Thomas,
I get this.
myself, red,
We want lower, right?
and red. Okay. So
There's no aces deck tonight. If you guys have any questions you want to ask me about aces while we're playing, since you're here,
There-
especially any reason, let me know.
there
We'll
will
play.
be the aces deck will be the
Banquo?
squirrel.
Oh, the squirrel.
Yeah.
Oh, these
That's
are the
why
star
I-
captains. We're,
That-
oh,
he needs that to influence his
it's the hover
decision-making.
tank. It's
the hover tank
Okay.
is that's why I had him up. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let me
All
show
right. So on the initiative, I drew Mech Warrior. Red's Stalker drew a 6, and his Wraith drew a 3. What did you draw, Thomas?
I drew a 2.
2?
It says
So-
jam transmission.
Yep. So
Select another player's initiative card or environmental effect. That card's effects do not apply this turn. Discard the card at the end of the phase or immediately if environment effect. We don't have
Okay.
environment effects, do we?
no. Okay. So your first card, Red, on your Stalker, on your 6, you have Carp Diem. This card wins initiative, but the
Paul.
player's unit,
Carpe diem.
Carpe Diem, whatever. Carpe Diem. This card wins initiative, but the
look.
player's units receive a
Oh,
+2
God, what have I
target
done?
number.
What have you
All
done?
the attacks this turn.
I can't even understand what he's saying.
Sorry, do it again.
I was talking with my hands. Hey!
Oh. Oh,
The card wins
God.
initiative, but the player's units receive a +2 target number to all attacks this turn. Your 3 has second wind. Select a unit, remove 1 damage from the hits taken on the mech, aerospace fighter vehicle, or infantry mech warrior pilot data box. Okay?
No, second wind is used as a bonus action. You may roll 1d10 per fighter level and add your fighter level to
Okay. My mech warrior is dead to rights. Selected unit applies a -3 modifier on all attacks. Until this card is activated, the player's unit reduces their MP by 1. So, with the initiative deck, if you don't know if you're aware of this or not, Thomas, you can hold on to your card each turn. That's why there is a negative side effect on this. So I could stay on this for my initiative the whole game,
right.
but I would have to keep paying that penalty. So it
So
basically
I'm
forces
going
me to
to
use
I
it.
am going to not use my special ability because I would not like to be heavily penalized.
So
Oh, thank you very much, Earthquake Johnson, for being a member for 8 months. A level 6 cider. We're slowly implementing more content for the members, so it's growing and growing and growing. Did someone say Blake? Yes, the word of Blake is here.
Praise be
Wow.
unto Blake.
Praise the end of Blake. Wait, no, wait, praise Blake. What?
Well, they
So
they,
that's-
they say praise be unto Blake, praise Blake. There's blessed Blake, bless you. Like there's a ton of different ones they'll say.
Right.
that said, Thomas, you lost initiative.
I lost
no.
initiative too?
Yeah, 2's low.
No, you want low numbers, don't you?
No, you won't.
Damn it.
No.
Ace is low on this as well.
Ah, damn it.
So, your jam transmission card can take out any of Red's cards. So if you don't want him to have any of those bonuses, you can just jam it.
Which bonus does Red really like?
Select and remove 1 damage, or this card wins initiative. You can jam that one, so he doesn't win initiative and he has to go on his 6.
Well, I mean, as I mentioned, I'm not using that special ability. I'll just take the 6 because I don't want the negative modifiers.
You have no negative modifiers on that card.
I thought you said it was +2.
No, that was for mine. I got the only one with
Oh,
negative
okay,
modifiers. Yep.
So I can get rid of that effect?
You can just make him go on a 6 and tap his card basically.
But I still go on a 2, so I'm still losing.
You still
Yeah,
lose.
I'm-
No, that's fine.
You're gonna let him
I'm
have
not
it.
afraid of Red. Yeah, he can have his win initiative crap.
Okay, so you're tapping out his card.
No, he can have it. He can
Oh,
have
okay,
it. What
okay.
what's the benefit of that? What's yours?
Mine?
Yeah.
I
We're on
mean,
the same
I'm
team.
already beating him on initiative, so it
I'm using
doesn't
mine.
really matter.
What's yours do again?
Mine, I get a -3 modifier on all my attack rolls.
That's really good.
Yeah, I
I'm gonna
don't-
cancel that.
Well,
No.
if I don't,
You
if I
should have seen
don't,
the look on Paul's
if I
face.
don't use it, then my movement gets reduced.
You should have seen the look on his face. He was
Like,
like,
oh.
"What? What are you doing?"
What are you doing? So you're moving first.
I'm an agent of chaos. All right. Okay. I am this cool-looking Highlander here. It says here I've got a walking 3, running 5, 3 jump. So no matter what, my TM. So this is classic. Forgive me,
Classic.
folks. I'm just getting back into the swing of what classic is. Each phase is a turn. I can go up to 5 for running. My longest range thing is a 22, which is likely going to hit someone.
That's your starting location.
Are
right?
these
Yeah,
turrets? Are these turrets active?
No, those are the gates where we walk in.
So I'm gonna go 1. Two. If I go 3, 4, 5, I'm gonna run, and I'm gonna go right up against this tree and get a nice line on Jabron. So I went 5, but I only displaced 3 hexes.
Red, your wraith is going.
Wait, what's my thing?
What's your what thing?
What do I put?
You went 3 hexes total. You were +1.
3 hexes total, but I moved all 5. I ran. So
Yeah, and you made 2 faces. You want
all
one.
right,
Yeah.
good.
Red,
All
where
right.
do you want to
Uh,
move that wraith?
So
run the wraith behind the heavy woods at the middle of the board,
Yep.
with me behind, facing the with it in between me and the Highlander.
I can tell you that we made.
Or this one here.
Yeah.
There.
So Sergeant Orc asks in a super chat, by the way, thank you. How does infantry work in Aces? Well, that's a very interesting, fun story. We made an infantry deck.
For the first one, not the second one.
Wow, how fast does that guy move?
7-11.
Oh, it's a
Very
wraith.
fast.
So you're good with that where he is?
Hold on. There's a delay. No, you picked the wrong tree, dude.
Which tree? This one? Or this one?
I want the tree closer to the center of the board from my side,
This one.
Yeah, that one? Okay.
directly
So-
behind the tree.
While you're doing that, I will say that so we made an infantry deck, and I'll say that the entire first round of the way the rules work with infantry, with that deck, were almost flawed immediately when we started playing. So since then, we tweaked the deck. Infantry and their deployment will have an optimal deployment on the card based on the color coding, meaning, so there are star captains now. These star captain cards, A, B, C, D, and E, which you can see right here. They're star captain cards, and they have commands on them. So they have support orders on the backside. They have red, yellow, blue with icons for those with color deficiency and sight, which will so you can still play with color blindness, and the AI on the actual cards have aggressive, balanced, and cautious. And the AI has a series of symbols that go across that you will read like hieroglyphics. It actually looks way more complicated than it is, but it's actually quite simple.
The best way to describe it, if you've ever played football, it's like a football playbook terminology.
It's-
It's very simple to
It's
learn. once you
very
know it.
simple once you
Yeah.
know it. And so for infantry, they're riding into a mech, and how they deploy and when they deploy will be based on whether we are on priority A, B, C, D, or E, because some of them are more aggressive than not, and that's how infantry goes out. When the infantry land, they will have their own decks, much like a hover vehicle and stuff, with its own AI built in that is supportive of the fact that infantry cannot get across the board. They cannot target things at a distance. And all mechs that are covered under AI now have zones in which they do their priority and their targeting, and the infantry will have their own unique subset. So I don't really know how else to describe it without having the infantry deck here and seeing the differences that Josh has made. But I promise you that the moment I can get a deck from Josh and get a more concrete answer, perhaps next Aces, I will just remind me again, and I will give you a more concrete solution. Just note that it is a little different with infantry than with mechs. Just the same as support units like tanks and
Yeah.
and helicopters and all that fun stuff.
Okay, so
So
with that said, Red, your stalker is moving on initiative 6.
but the new infantry modifications kick ass. Just to let you know, it's working now. It sucked at first. 'cause
What a horrible place to start that stalker.
He's at the gates.
Hmm.
He's at the gates. They're walking in. We all started the
Oh,
same spot.
I know, but he's not really got anywhere to meaningfully go. Just
Go to the lower angle.
Red's gonna kill me. Send me a
What? I'm
glitter
not being
bomb.
a chicken. A chicken would be like, guys, I quit this game. I quit.
No, that,
I'm just looking at the board and I'm like, wow, this is a horrid start position for this mech because the stalker is slow, dude.
well, be careful
I
where you
will-
go, because Paul's gonna cheat and try and get behind you or something.
I'm not,
I mean, he
have
will
no
get
chance.
behind me. He's
He
playing
can't-
with a
he can't leave
lamb.
the arena.
I can't leave the arena, so I'm not going to be moving around too quick.
He's gonna get behind me, no problem. He can't leave the arena. Come on now. Yeah, I'll walk 5 forward, or run 5 forward with the stalker towards the center, I suppose.
Like that.
Oh man, you hid
And
from
he's
my.
at 2.
You hit. I got a 2 here. I
I
got
got-
2. Where's the laser
Alright.
pointer?
The
Oh, they're
Care
in my-
Bear stair is right here. So
Can I
that
see
brings
him? No, I can't see him because the level 2, right?
that level 2 is blocking. Right?
Damn you, Red!
All right, so I am starting in air mech mode.
Oh, wait, what? He's in airmech mode?
that's
Oh, I
right.
can't believe it.
But I am
I
only
can't
gonna-
believe it.
I
A
am
lamb
only
in airmech
cruising.
mode?
I am
Shocking.
I am only cruising.
Shocking. It's like
I
I
am only
can't believe
cruising.
it. I can't
I-
believe it, dude.
I know. Like I feel like I want to just like rethink
I
my
am
life
only
now
cruising.
because
1,
Paul is trying
2,
something
So,
new.
somebody's playing a lamb is using airmech mode? This can't be. This
And
can't be the case, dude.
Look at him! Look at him just sailing across the board here.
Yeah, wow. Oh, geez. I'm just.
Do
I don't know
wanna
what
do
to
that,
think
though? No, I
about
don't want to go
this.
that far.
Boo! Hiss Paul, says Beskar.
Oh, wow. Airmech mode. Oh, what a creative way to use this lamb in airmech mode, no less.
What do you need? We need like a 9 plus 9. What if we do 3 plus 3s? Does that equal what your thing is? It's like-
No, it's not that high. I only
it's,
went.
it's not that bad. Only plus 9.
No, I'm +4.
What lamb says
Only
Andrew Lick?
Plus 4.
only 4. Only
Plus
only as
4.
if he ran 10 hexes this turn. That's all.
Plus 4. What is that even? That's ridiculous. Who's supposed to hit with that? And what lamb
Well, you're
is it?
not.
My Phoenix Hawk lamb.
It's the Phoenix Hawk lamb.
Specific
a
variant
lamb
is
player
the,
playing a Phoenix Hawk lamb?
PHXHK 1RB.
No,
Oh,
it's impossible.
PXHK 1RB.
1RB.
Okay, that's what it is.
Oh, I just can't believe it. This is so shocking to me.
I love
Airmech mode, a Phoenix Hawk lamb, no less. What world is this? What is this coming to?
Slink says no one would ever think of using air mech mode. What a twist!
What a twist.
and Beskar, it was So then Beskar writes #lamb with a little e at the end.
Yeah, he's got the little E.
It's great.
Yeah, that's been
Okay,
going on for a while.
so are we shooting
we
now?
go to declare fire. Yep.
I can't fire at anything because I can't see anything, and
And
I'm not even fully covered. I'm actually trying to get out in the open, like a lame.
Red can see me, and I can see the wraith. I don't think I can see the stalker.
I mean, I don't even think I have range on the wraith towards the lamb, nor would I really have the ability to hit because I'm pretty sure I
You're at-
ran this turn.
You're at
You're
11.
+4. Yeah, so I literally can't hit you this turn.
Yeah, you remember your wraith pilot's a 2/3, and your stalker's a 3/3.
So I
not
need
enough
an
range?
11. Well, I guess I'll fire the large pulse laser if I can.
You're at 11 hexes.
Oh, then I have nothing to hit you.
Yeah,
The
you're at 11
longest range
hexes.
weapon that has is a large pulse laser.
And
That's it.
yeah, I think I'm out of range as well. Oh no, I'm at my snub
No,
nose.
you're in range, and you have the benefit of having a -3 to hit this turn.
That's true.
Yeah.
So my snub
Yeah,
nose. Actually, I'm gonna fire.
I'm-
I'm gonna fire everything. And my ER mediums will hit too, right? So
Yeah. Oh no, absolutely they will.
yeah. So
I feel
I'm at
bad
base,
for Red here.
I'm at base 3.
Honestly,
I'm gonna
honestly,
declare
like,
fire. I'm gonna declare fire on the lamb here. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm at base
honestly,
3.
like,
I'm
to
cruising
to
at
be-
6.
I will be honest. If I did pay enough attention to know that he was playing a lamb earlier in this game, I probably wouldn't have voluntarily played. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
So
like,
I'm at 3.
just full disclosure, like, I'm on
3?
autopilot.
3, 6. Range is 8. You went for 3. Is 11s.
Cover.
He's got no cover for me.
He's got
I've
cover.
got no cover, not from the direction he's firing at me
Not
from.
there.
But you've got this in the way.
Yeah, he's
12.
elevated.
I'll give it on 12. That's fine. It's boxcars. So the medium, the snub nose will be the red dice. Boxcars. Miss.
I do
Never.
not have an LBX or even an autocannon on any of my mechs, Enderwalk. So
Well, he missed everything anyway.
I missed everything.
He got a 10 on one of them, which was close.
Which was close, but
Not bad. Not bad.
and
not
then we are.
bad.
Oh, actually, no, I didn't count my -3 there.
yeah, no, he actually
I hit.
he needs
with
9s to hit me.
Yeah, I hit with 1 ER medium.
What's this -3 thing?
It's my card.
This initiative deck sucks. I want to go back to rolling.
So you take
I'm on his team
5
when I'm sad.
points to the center torso.
Mm-hmm.
Red. I missed you, man.
Yeah, like, I mean, like, you guys can just literally have the Aces deck take over for me if you like. That's fine.
No, we love you.
Yeah,
Okay,
if you guys loved me, you'd know not to have put me up against a lamb. So
Well, you know when you're fighting Landsvander, it's going to be a lamb.
yeah,
Right.
no, I know. Well, that just means I'm not going to be fighting against you very often. I
No,
really
no.
don't. I really don't enjoy lambs. Like, I like, it's not a joke. I know Paul is routinely thinking that this is like humor, and it is somewhat funny. But the reality is like, I literally wouldn't play against someone with a lamb ever. Like, that's
So,
me being sincere.
Actually,
Like,
that brings up a really good conversation piece. Is this one of the reasons why like CGL is so hesitant to put them back into the rotation?
Yeah, it's a split. It's a split.
Like, no joke.
lamb.
I would not play against a lamb under
But-
any circumstances.
Under like in a tournament or something, or just even for fun? Like, just
Even
any-
for I consider it unfun to play against. It's an anti-fun mechanic.
Is it
I would
because
never
just
play. It's
move too
rules
quickly,
break
or-
the game fundamentally. So even if I win the game, I will not have enjoyed having played the game
Interesting.
itself.
Oh, I
It's
always
it's a deeply frustrating mechanic to play against somebody who's always going to be able to generate massive defensive bonuses and who has massive ability to outmaneuver me. Even my Wraith is hopelessly outmaneuvered by that lamb. Like when the Wraith, which is a very fast mech, can't really defend itself properly from the lamb if the lamb wins initiative, you just kind of sit there, you're like, I'm gonna get shot in the flank, I'm gonna
So-
get shot in the flank, I'm gonna get shot in the back, and
Right.
on top of that, I'm also he outranges me even because of the variant he has.
So,
So,
the question
like-
is there a world in which the rules for lambs get like I can't use that. Okay, is there a world in which the rules for lambs get like subject to cleanup a bit and then don't be as crazy? Like, is it because they move so far?
They gotta redo the aerospace rules.
I know
No,
that.
the problem
I
is
know.
not the aerospace rules, because the rules you're using right now are much more analogous to a standard war machine. The problem is, like, you redoing the aerospace rules fixes aerospace fighters and it fixes lambs in aerospace mode. It doesn't actually do a whole lot to nobody fields a lamb in aerospace mode except for on the
So
first turn, maybe.
but
People field lambs in aeromech mode, which
so
is what me and the audience were
if you
joking about. It was
revamp
very obvious.
if you revamp one, then everything will get revamped along with it, right?
All the lamps.
All the modes, right, would get redone, right? So right now it operates like in a hybrid, like of a VTOL and a Widge or Wiggy or whatever you want to call it.
Don't lambs get a +4 to hit when in aeromech mode?
When I'm flanking, not when I'm cruising. I'm +3 when I'm cruising. I only went 15. If I'd went 23, yes, I would have been +4.
23.
I go 15, 23.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Do you see now why I'm like, this is kind of like, again, I could shoot him down and I still wouldn't
Again,
actually
like,
have
like,
enjoyed.
I'll
It
play
is
dev-
disheartening.
And I also
I'll play
want to point
devil's
out, Paul
advocate here.
literally knows this.
No,
Paul
I'll play
literally knows this,
devil's
too.
advocate here, though. Okay, so sure, you might not like the lamb, but I can turn around and say if you think that ruins the game, Clan Tech ruined the game completely back in the day, right? So
I do regret to inform you. No, it's all right, guys.
I am going to speak now.
No,
now.
and that's okay. I'm just letting you know I'm not going to continue to participate in the game itself. So, like, I'm. It's okay to say your piece, of course, but I literally, I literally don't ever really want to play against a lamb ever. You're aware of this. I don't like them. I don't want to play against them. I don't enjoy doing this, especially when, like, it's a variant of the lamb that is a hard counter to my fast mech because you outrange me. I'm a short range, close quarters mech with much less maneuverability, and you have like a snub nose PPC, dude. Like, it's fine, but like, this just isn't for me, and it's okay that it's not for me. But again, I feel like you should have known.
It's totally fair.
You would have known this. Like, I'm just not into this. I'm never literally going to play with a lamb. Like, I would refuse to under any circumstances.
Yeah. And that's totally fair. That's fair. We can. I do like the debate. Yeah, it's funny. B says in chat, she says, if you wanted a true talk, you got one. Yeah, that's pretty true talk. It's pretty true talk. Hopefully the battle between Paul and Red won't be a real one.
No, that's not. It's not a battle. There's two sides to the coin when you're talking about anything regarding Battletech, right, and rules, right? So if one,
so you're dragging the clan stuff into this.
So yeah, what I'll say is that the counter, if you're gonna take a perspective like that, the perspective would be, this is why we have a huge chunk of players out there that just refuse to play anything past the Succession Wars. Is that Clan Tech, while I have no problem with it personally, it did affect the game in adding length to games if you involve Clan Tech in it. Why? Because the tech is so much more advanced, 30 or 40% better on average per mech. When you play clan games versus the Inner Sphere, it increases the time and duration of every game. Why? Because the only way you can properly play the game is if you're doing equal BV, then the Inner Sphere side is always going to be about 2.5 to 3 units per one clan mech, which when you start putting that many units on the board, it just slows down the game. Right?
It tends to be 5 versus 8, usually a lance versus 2 lances versus a star. But you also have to remember that things start dying very quickly, though. So, like, in the first couple turns take longer than your average game, but after about 2 turns, there's enough dead things on the table that the game speeds up because the weaponry is that much more lethal.
It's 1/2 dozen the other is what I'm getting at, right? It's like if one thing is a negative, there's multiple things that are negative that can be seen in that light, and that's why I think there's a lot of people out there when it comes to things like lambs or using aerospace on the board or artillery even. They're like, okay, yeah, that's not a big deal because you have the other thing going on out there too. Right?
On a strange interjection here, on a positive note, we have developed artillery rules for aces, which is interesting. Yeah, that's my 2 cents in there. Sitting here as the Canadian between the Canadian and the American.
So we go into
We're
initiative.
we're both Canadians. We're all
Shh,
Canadians.
shh, shh, shh. Paul's mad like an American. No.
I was born on the border.
Yeah, that's why I made the joke. No, and Andrew like says, I think you guys broke rule 0. Make sure everyone's having fun. Aw, Paul, you broke rule
No,
0.
straight up. Like
No, I
again,
understand.
I'm not trying to be a jerk, but like Paul is aware that I would not play against a lamb, and literally putting me in a situation where I'm playing against a lamb is like, I'm just not going to be here for this. I hate to say it, like, you
Right,
know,
well,
I'm not trying to be an ass, but like, this is the embodiment of not fun BattleTech for me.
right. Oh no, 100%, 100%. Well, we can. I mean, obviously, just talk a little more briefly right now for a second or two about just aces and stuff. And I mean, this is classic, so I need to, understand a little more about what's going on here. Being the complete noob to the BattleTech universe, in general.
BattleTech is a game of position. So if your opponent will always have the advantage in position, even if they are more lightly armed than you are, that doesn't mean they aren't more smartly armed than you are. Then they will always have the advantage.
Correct. I see. Yeah, and I often thought that. I mean, when I see, I think Paul had to go out for a cigarette. She's a little sad. I often notice in BattleTech to date that I've been playing it that I mean Alpha Strike to me seems just a lot more balanced because it's just a little more rules
BattleTech
light.
is very balanced when you're on battle value, but not for everything. So there's a few things that break the game. Obviously, when you have massive amounts of maneuverability, that can break the game. You can spam one unit type. Like if I only bring Savannah Masters, like that's going to give me a distinct advantage. Like you're not supposed to field that type of stuff. And if you just played like spammed Clan Pulse lasers, you might have a bit of an advantage just because you're always going to be able to hit.
Right, I agree. Oh, look, everyone's coming in with all the super chats and the fun stuff. My God, wow, Beskar, thank you. It's crazy. Yeah, I agree. So Paul's out for a cigarette right now, so I'm just like sitting here like mom and dad are fighting at the dinner table.
Yeah, like
Here, I'll
as I
cut to
said,
me.
like
I'll cut to me. You guys can hang
yeah,
out with
like,
me.
and I'm not trying to be an
We're gonna
ass,
hang out.
but like, yeah,
No,
like
no. It's fine.
I
It's
will
fine.
point out that Paul literally knows that I won't play against a lamb, and then I came on tonight and I'm
We're gonna
playing
take
against a
this
lamb.
opportunity for me to eat a Ferrero Rocher, ASMR style.
Like I'm not trying to be a jerk, but like
No,
it's
that's
just one
fine.
of those things, you know.
Sermon
I'm
day.
literally making a video right now called "I Hate Lambs." That's actually not a joke. That's actually the next video on the channel. Like this is like Paul's even aware of that. He knows. Like I actually have the rule book open right now. I'm still writing the script, going over the rules on why I hate them and refuse to play against them.
Oh, I've had these gray hairs
Like,
for a while, guys.
I'm actually making a video called "I Hate Lambs." It's not a joke. Like you can, Besker knows about it. Everybody in the chat, because like I advertise what videos are coming out. So like, this is not
The
a
hair's pretty
mystery
gray.
thing. This is.
Oh, no, sorry. They're commenting on my silver hair.
Okay.
That's I just got these gray hairs like right now between these two. I just got these gray hairs. It just like arrived.
Like, I mean, I can send you the thumbnail right now. I'm literally
no,
working
I
on
believe
it
you.
right now.
I believe you. So we're working on aces. Aces actually no gray hairs on aces. It's been good. And by the way, Kerminde, thank you for the chat, not the super chat. If Paul could, maybe Paul could. Red, ask if
There,
Paul
sorry,
could.
guys.
Ask Paul if you can meet you on his level and fight in land mech mode.
Oh, sure, I'll transform. It doesn't matter to me.
Then if he transforms, yeah, no, it's fine. They're good. They're good. These guys will be fine. They'll hash it out later in Discord. They'll make love. It'll be good. It'll be all good. So battle values breaks in weird edge cases as well, says Lorcan, like MASC, and supercharger pumps the BV up far higher than they should be. And I'm sorry,
Yeah,
it's not
so
that,
like,
it's not that I
so when
can't read. It's just that I'm reading acronyms.
Yeah, so to give it an idea, a mask on a light mech is a huge boon, or like a mask or a supercharger on a light mech is a big boon, but it's not quite. It can be a big boon on a really big heavy mech, but it probably won't be because they don't have the mobility to begin with to really get a huge advantage out of it. So
Yeah.
because mask has to be measured in a certain way, it means that like the Executioner, for instance, one of my favorite clan mechs, has a really high BV because it has a mask.
Right.
But it gets a really like yeah, it moves really fast for an assault mech when it engages its mask for one turn, but it's not really like you're not moving at like 150 kilometers or anything. You're moving
So
at
here's a
like
question.
86 kilometers per hour.
Here's a question: how do they calculate? Like, what is the thing for calculating battle value?
So battle value
Is it like armor, structure,
It's
weaponry,
Tonnage,
movement?
armor,
everything.
structure, weaponry, equipment, because like just general equipment, like if you have stealth armor or you have like, ECM or something like that, that will also have an impact on it. Each one of them adds a different value mechanic to the game and changes the overall calculation you have.
heat efficiency, damage outputs. Then on top of it, when you add in equipment, say like add in C3 networks, right?
Yeah.
C3
C3 network is the one where
That's what we use here. That's what our
where
guys
if
have.
you are close and
Right.
I'm far, I shoot as if I'm
That's
close.
correct. So the way
That's busted,
C3
too.
calculates, it calculates for all the weapons you have, and it adds an additional percentage in BV for the individual weapons, not for the actual unit. So it increases the value of the mech itself.
Right.
And then on top of that, when you bump up your skills, so
Like
you bump,
like pilot skill.
yeah. So there's a chart in the book in Total Warfare that shows what the multiplier is to the BV based on whatever your piloting and gunnery is. So yeah, I think if you go up to a 3-4, I think it's like 1.38 it increases it by or something like that, and so on and so forth.
So they've got this whole thing mathed out behind the scenes. Like you can
Exactly.
build a mech
Yes.
based on BV points alone.
Yes,
In
there's
fact-
actually multiple tools that allow you to do that even. So if you're using like Megamech or Solaris Skunkworks or something like that, you can build your own mechs and it has all of the math equations built into it to give you an accurate battle value total on your mech.
So what I find interesting about this whole thing that happened tonight with the whole Lamb protest is that I think that I'm actually learning a lot more about how Battletech works functionally just by the fact that I knew in my head I had the same, and I was always on Paul's side when he played the mechs, which was funny because when we play Aces decks and stuff like that, and he's sailing across, and there's been a few times where I've seen him almost get blown out of the sky, but I always in my head was like, man, that thing is nuts. Like, is it like it's just like
It's actually not supported in the main core rulebook.
No,
So
it's
like you
experimental rulebook.
actually can't play a lamb with just the basic Battletech
oh,
rules.
this isn't even like a canonized thing.
No, it's
No, it's
canonized. No.
canon, but like it's a legacy of 1984. So
So this
the-
was something that existed in like all the old-
Battletech is played in different eras and different tech levels. So
But this
you
feels
have-
like a newer tech to me. This feels
It's
more like
not.
a
It's-
clan.
no, this
so
no,
in
it's a
Battletech,
Star League. It's
older
a
is
Star
usually
League
better.
era mech.
Star League era.
It's usually better, older, right? So, the way it works is you have introductory level,
Okay.
then you have advanced, then you have experimental, right? So, depending on how deep into the rules you want to get, introductory would be what you get in Clan Invasion, or sorry, not Clan Invasion, in Game of Armor Combat.
Just simple.
Okay. You also get that in Total Warfare. Advanced comes in Total Warfare as well. Okay.
Wow.
And then experimental comes in additional books. Some of it might be in Total Warfare. I might be mistaken, but things like advanced rule, tactical operations, advanced rules, alternate eras. There's all sorts of different things. So basically, they've created those additional rule books that have the advanced rules were essentially ideas and house rules that were submitted by fans over the years going, hey, if we wanted to do this, how could we make a rule for it? And they did. They made a rule for it and say, if I want to go hull down and drop down to the ground, or I want to climb up the side of this thing by my hands.
Yeah.
Or whatever, right? There are rules that are in some of the books, though, that do cross-fade over into the others. Like, turn modes are a thing for vehicles, but those rules are in advanced rules. So
Okay, so to me, it seems like so as the eras progress, does the technology grow?
sometimes and
Yeah,
sometimes
so
not.
yes and no. So like lambs exist in BattleTech during the Star League, and then their legacy technologies during the first, second, third, and fourth Succession Wars, where they're supposed to be really rare. They die off in 3050 when they're wiped out by the clans when the last factory for them is destroyed by Clan Novacat.
Yeah.
And a succession war is to see which clan.
No, Succession Wars are Succession Wars
Predate the
first, second,
clans.
third.
That's between the houses
pre-clan
blowing
invasion.
each other up.
Yeah.
Oh, they're all trying to see
Yeah.
who's the supreme house ruler.
So the last
Yeah.
last of the Inner Sphere lambs ends at around Tukia, just before, and then
Why did they stop? Not obviously for game mechanic reasons, but
they're blowing up the factories.
so
they
rarer
stopped
tech now.
in universe. They stopped because they just ran out of the ability to produce them. In reality, they dropped them in 1991. So they actually didn't drop them like recently or anything. Like FASA dropped them in 91 when they did not continue to support them in technical readout 3050.
So the question I have then is,
But then they did bring them back during the Blakist era, right? So
Well, that wasn't FASA. The Blakist era brought them back under Catalyst Game Labs in 2009. I think, and they're only deployable by the word of Blake.
That's well, and Comstar as well.
so my
Yeah, and
question is then, because usually when you get into design bubbles like this, they were obviously designed a specific way. After they were designed, you start playing them, and you realize that they're playing in a quote unquote, asymmetrical way, and they can be unfun to some. And so my question is that obviously they can't design the mechs to match the power level or the speed level of the lambs. So I guess I'm asking the
there's two reasons they got rid of them. One of them is because of the gameplay for them was a little broken. The other reason why is because if you look at the writing for BattleTech in like 1986, like if you read the original Grey Death trilogy, they were like these big, like the mechs are not lumbering, they're agile. They're like moving around like big people a lot of the time.
They're like Jaegers from Pacific Rim.
No,
even more agile. Like in
armored combat.
Like we're talking like borderline anime.
So a
Armored
Jaeger's the size of like a 25-story building, right?
No, but I mean
a mech's only the size of your house, right?
Yeah, but mechs were moving around with fluidity of motion, so they're moving around like they're not like they're not moving around like a transformer. But if you watch Robotech, they approach the movement style of Robotech or Macross. This isn't a perfect example, but the fluidity of motion is there. By 1989, by 1990. FASA had decided to diverge their IP to make it more distinct, and mechs started to move around in a more lumbering way. This also was likely because of the virtual world stuff that they were beginning to run, and like Mech Warrior and stuff, where they couldn't really emulate those things, but they wanted people to feel immersed. So the mechs started to move towards being these walking tanks that are these lumbering, like, not exactly perfectly agile machines. Some mechs are a bit more agile than others, but you're not really getting people moving around like Air Commander Starscream jumping into the air and transforming into a jet.
Right.
That's, and so because they opted to move away from that style, it starts making a lot less sense to have transforming mechs that they only had because they got them from across when they licensed the initial game, and they just realized that didn't match their license. That didn't really match what they were doing, and it didn't really work well for their gameplay. So like when you just start measuring all those things, it just stops making sense to properly support them.
So here's the a loaded question: the why did they release this Irby lamb?
Well, I mean, like, I can't answer why Catalyst would do that beyond thinking that it's just a joke.
I know that it was just a joke, but so can that Irby lamb be played in an actual game?
Yeah, but the Irby lamb has such a small engine that even with its lamb benefits, it's fast, but it's not
Effective.
It's not fast like a Phoenix Hawk lamb where he's jumping around 20 plus hexes a turn, right? Like the Irby lamb has like a 2-ton engine. So I
brought Paul back an Irby lamb for him.
I mean, it's sort of like, they decided to put a Toyota in a race, like not even like just an old Toyota Corolla.
Oh, so it is just strictly a joke purpose.
It's a meme.
Yeah,
because they sold a ton. People are saying in the chat, meme.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Interesting, yeah, because I saw the little guy, and everybody was laughing about it, and I saw the sculpts of it
Yeah,
before
like
they ever announced it.
I mean, the urban mech is like on its own is typically a very poor machine anyway. Like it's one of the worst mechs in the game. People
I
love
also
it
brought you back.
because
I also brought Paul back the Star League, the 40th anniversary Star League thing. I don't know what's in there, but I just brought it back for you.
yeah, you get an Atlas II, a Thunderhawk,
Hey, I know
an
about the Atlas
Orion.
too. I watched your video. I actually know about the Atlas
They
too.
got the Atlas II, Karinsky's Ryan, the Phoenix Hawk, and I don't know what the other one is. The Thunder, I think. Thunderer, Thunderhawk.
Something of that nature.
Yep. Yeah, they got a Thunderhawk, Phoenix Hawk, Atlas II, and Orion.
Well, I guess we'll have to use the Aces decks to sort of mix and match how to keep playing the game if we're going to keep playing, Paul.
I mean, like even with aces, like the AI is not really able to compensate for how the lamb breaks the game. So like if you're wondering why the lamb is always going to be really effective against the AI can't really compensate for something that weighs as much as a Phoenix Hawk lamb.
The AI has been
20
fighting
plus
it for a year.
turn.
Red. The AI has been fighting it for a year.
Oh yeah, and I've seen it be pretty effective against the AI for a year.
Well, I interpret the AI a little bit more in favor of when Josh plays the AI, he plays it exactly rules as written, which is exactly how most people will play it. When I play it with rules as written with subjectivity based on my skill set, which is what makes Aces so versatile and cool, in my opinion, because you can literally read the icons, do what it tells you to do with those icons in a blind vacuum, and it'll still be a challenging and fun fight for you. But if you just take 2 seconds to read those icons in a way that you'll go, yeah, but if it just does this, it's better. And you use it as a guideline, which is why I really, really want to go to a tournament and do the Aces deck to see what happens, just by the subjectivity of what I'm playing. I don't even know if it's allowed to do in the tournament, if I'm allowed to use the deck, because that's considered an aid, right? Maybe.
Well, I wouldn't consider it an aid if you're just using it straight up.
Right. But I mean, yeah,
I mean, it just means you're not the one playing. That's what it really means.
I'll
It's
go
like
in as
I'm
an
playing,
alias.
but I'm not really playing. You're actually playing against my card deck. What?
Right? So I guess we have no game to play right now. So we're just gonna hang out and make it a podcast.
We can do that.
All right. Well, let's make it a podcast. Let's hang out then. I'm learning a lot tonight. Let's teach me. I'm back in the swing anyway. I was really looking forward to blowing something up, but we'll save that for next week's endeavors. But for now, if people got any questions, I see there's lots of cool chat going on about Fog of War, AC-10s, which is delicious. Fight the Land Mech Lamb. So True Talks, go go go. Well, True Talk is more personal stuff we could talk about, but I mean we got guests here, so let's talk about Battletech. So, yeah.
I mean, yeah, like I'm going to be working on a video pretty soon for the Torian Concordat. That's pretty exciting.
The Torians, that's one of the few videos that I got fully through watching of Texas. He showed me. I learned a lot about the Torians.
Yeah, they're pretty out of their mind. Definitely, I'd never trust them. They're terrible. I love them.
Oh, really?
Though.
See, I was gonna say when I was first reading about how like stalwart and resistant they were against the constant bombardment. I wanted to be one. I was like, oh, I should be a Torian.
Yeah, but that's the Torian Concordat in like the year 2500, not the Torian Concordat in like the year 3100. It's sort of like being like what England would be like in 1000 AD versus England today. One of them is going to be a lot more pleasant than the other.
Probably today.
Yes, but it's opposite for Battletech.
Right,
so the Torians were like really righteous and like idealistic when they were being bombarded, and after hundreds of years of being like backwards and like paranoid of coups from outside governments and just treated poorly, they're basically like a battle. Like in terms of this exact moment, they're basically being run by a military junta who obsessively believe that House Davian is going to try to coup their government.
Interesting. Um, so so the Torians, I thought about being a Torian, and then I stuck with Davion in the end, because I just like,
Well,
I
everybody wants to play a pirate.
So, Kamindi, to answer your question there, it's a 4x4, but it's actually a 6x4 mat. I just let it kind of go off the side of the table a little
yeah,
bit.
it's a nice little skirt.
Yeah.
And the other question was asked is when is Aces officially being released? Oh, that is the golden question. So there has been some discussion about it being kickstarted as well as discussion of it going direct to release. And I think the fulfillment of Mercenaries was a big deciding factor to it. And now that fulfillment is underway, I think we're within days if not weeks of me understanding when the project is going to go. If the project was be going directly to retail, and I'm speaking in vague terms because I don't really have concrete answers to give, so I'm just giving theoreticals. If the product were be going to retail, you would likely see something. There's possibility by Christmas, but more likely Q1 of 2025. If the product would be going to Kickstart, honestly, probably the same thing. So really, we just don't know because we won't be taking it to Kickstarter until the boxes are so far along the lines that it is. We don't you don't kickstart something and then have to wait for its development to finish. So we're there. And if it is going to any sort of crowdsourcing platform in any capacity, and we're involved in it, we're going to make sure that it doesn't get so complicated that you're dealing with things that will hold up a delivery. But let's face it, the size of the BattleTech Kickstarter and the fact that it is fulfilling now, it's a pretty good, like, with the amount of crap they put into that Kickstarter. They had like boxes of stuff and like hats and mugs and all kinds of stuff. It's pretty much a miracle that it got put together so soon as it did and is actually being sent out. So, it's at this point we're a little over a
Yeah,
year.
they had so many SKUs on there.
Yeah,
Just
like
so
this
many.
this is the thing a lot of people don't realize about Kickstarters is there's a bunch of mentalities that happen when you kickstart. Number one, when you launch a Kickstarter, you launch with an idea in your head as to what you'd like that Kickstarter to be, and then you can never predict the ebb and flow of the Kickstarter. I've seen people go on doing Kickstarters where they're like, "Oh man, we're gonna do so well," and then it just bombs. I've been involved in a few of those, and I've also been involved with ones where with BattleTech included, where we go on expecting like X and you get Y, and Y is significantly higher than you expected, and it's really easy to trigger the second quirk of kickstarting, which is the
Over promising.
yes, the overpromising momentum euphoria is really, really a good word for it. Um, OPU, as they say. OPU.
I don't think that actually occurred. Like,
Well, it does. It did because they did not want to open up any more Kerenskis. There was a lot of rules that they said they were steadfasting on, but because the numbers were so astronomically high, like more than double what they expected, like way more than double, that they just opened up things that they still are okay with, but it's just added to the pot. And I've been involved in Kickstarters where it's doing so well, you're like, I just want to give more, I just want to do more. So you add
Also,
something
like global shipping played a bit of a, like, if the global shipping situation was a little bit better, without discussing any of the things that caused shortages in global shipping, things would probably have been here in North America a bit sooner, right? Like,
right.
um,
And here's the thing, like when they ran Mercenaries, not Mercenaries, yeah, Mercenaries. No, which one was one before? Clan Invasion, right?
Clan Invasion.
When they ran Clan
Yep.
Invasion, before they ran Clan Invasion, one of their biggest Kickstarters they had to date was Shadowrun Sprawl Ops, which was the one that Linvander ran. We ran that Kickstarter, and we got hit with some overpromising stuff in there, but Sprawl Ops was still a well-controlled machine until fulfillment, where we got completely boned by PSI. But which was, I think, was just a clerical error on their part. But the Shadowrun Sprawl Ops campaign ran really smoothly. We still promised a bunch of stuff that we shouldn't have at the last momentum because we were almost at 300,000 at that time. That was huge. And the one thing that we didn't fulfill was me covering myself with maple syrup on screen. That's something that
uh,
That's something nobody
That's
wants.
no,
Nobody
yeah,
wants that.
exactly. The goal would have been smarter to be like, unless we hit 400,000, I will cover myself in maple syrup on
I
stream.
said if someone drops $10,000, I'll do it, and someone dropped it, and I was like, oh crap! But that someone was Lauren, so he just collected his money back and lost 5% to embarrass me. And so but the reality is that like the PSI mess up was the thing. So when they called me for some consultation about the clan invasion, nothing like official, just like, hey friend, and I said, hey, whatever you do, whatever you do, if you were to take my advice to heart, it's keep your SKUs clean and keep your options limited. That's that, and that's across the board for any Kickstarter or crowdfunding. Keep your SKUs clean, keep your offers minimal, and then do your best to push what you have on the table. It's like a restaurant that has there's a whole Seinfeld episode about this. It's a restaurant that has everything on the menu versus specializing in what they do really well with a few options, right?
But one of the challenges that they're going to face every time they do a Kickstarter or anything, and it's not a bad thing, it's because it's not easy to get stuff shipped at a decent price normally.
Well, that's because everything changed so much over the years.
From the normal web store.
Mhm.
Like the shipping's expensive internationally, right?
Yeah.
It's expensive to ship to Canada or wherever, and that's not CGL's fault. That just happens to be what the small parcel prices are. The Kickstarter affords the opportunity to anybody that backed it to buy in one lump sum all that stuff that they would normally put an order in. So they have all those SKUs there, and it allows people to get all the stuff they normally would want that they wouldn't want to buy two or three times a year.
And part of what made Mercenaries take so long to fulfill was that what people don't understand is that by putting it all in one parcel, before the snafus that happened with the shipping, picking, packing fee issues, but when they got it down to the reasonable rate, when all the pieces have to arrive to the same centralized location and all the pieces have different manufacturing times, it is like Minority Report.
Yeah.
Like you're weaving things that you shouldn't be weaving. Pins can be done in like a month. Minis take 72 days. Molds might break, which still and so
normally you would have what's the name of that type of manufacturing? Basically, as soon as something's normally everything would just ship on its own if this were normal orders. Like, they would drop ship from one location, but that's just not how this works with a Kickstarter.
And furthermore, economy of scale, when you got Kickstarters that do like, a couple 100,000 and they got a lot of things to wave out, or even like when Kingdom Death did their 13 million or whatever it was, that some astronomical million they had to ship it in waves. Because it was either make everybody wait 5-6 years or they ship it in waves. Now, by shipping it in waves, I'm not sure if they charge the backers for the shipping. And if you had enough forethought, you could say you're going to get charged for multiple shipment pledges because this campaign is just so full of stuff. But the downside of shipping everything at once to save with the shipping rates per customer is time. And we got to wait for all that stuff to get there. The fact that it's shipping out now, I mean, I got to give Catalyst a clap for that because it's like they pulled it. That means they got all of everything together, consolidated in one warehouse, and the picking, packing is going on. But not just one warehouse for North America, one warehouse for Europe, one warehouse for Australia. And, talk about shipping to Australia and New Zealand, like, whew, forget about it, as they say. But yeah, but I mean, like, look, a lot of people are always on the Facebook and stuff like that, and they're always like crapping on Catalyst for this. But it's like, I don't think people realize just what a task. $7.6 million worth of backers, 23,000 backers, and that's not all. 23,000 backers plus several thousand more in the backer kit.
Yeah, late
pledgers coming in. We're talking like 30 plus. Like, it's crazy.
And then figure all the people that backed the Kickstarter added on.
Oh yeah, the add-ons.
So people probably on average added on what their pledge was in money in purchases.
Yeah, and I know
So
the shipping number. I know the post revenue numbers and the shipping numbers. I'm not at liberty to talk about them, but I'll just tell you that it's a staggering amount of people, just a staggering amount of people to coordinate, and it's like it's a relative. Paul, like, he runs an international shipping company, so he knows what this is like, shipping packages back and forth. in theory, the logic makes sense. It's sound. The
I mean,
one snag,
I used to do it as well. To be fair,
yeah,
actually.
but one incorrect calculation and the whole ball of yarn goes out of whack. And then,
Correct. It's
Yes.
it's one of those things too. Like I know a lot of people were upset. Oh, we should have been told the shipping rates a year ago. I literally was asked this question 3 days ago at work to do a project with construction equipment moving from Edmonton, Alberta, up into the Northwest Territories, but it's not going to happen for a year. And I said, I told the customer the same thing that
yeah, mhm.
Catalyst would have faced. It's that I can speculate. I don't know what the price of fuel is going to be next year. I don't know what the cost of insurance is going to be next year.
Double.
I don't know what any of these the rates are going to be at next year. All I can do is I can give you a budgetary speculation and go, hey, it's going to cost you 20 grand a load to move them up there.
If the circumstances are similar to what they are right
Yeah.
now,
this
next
is why
year, this would
Exactly.
be the approximate total, but this is not a promise.
Yeah. Always contingency.
And that's the same thing goes for with the challenges that you face trying to quote small parcel delivery, a year after the fact, and predict what's going to happen. There could have been production delays, right? There could have been all sorts of other delays that maybe pushed the Kickstarter back 18 months to 2 years. So how are you going to even predict, what a shipping rate's going to be that far out? Like, there's so many variables and working parts involved with this kind of thing that, they said June. There was a minor hiccup with the cost. That got rectified. They're picking and packing in June. They've coordinated all these moving parts. Thank you. Send me my plastic robots.
Yeah.
Amazing. with
I can't-
all the
I can't
with
wait
all
to
the
get my
other
stuff.
Kickstarters you've heard horror stories about over the years.
Oh,
out
I've
there
done Kickstarter horror
that
stories.
haven't fulfilled.
I've been the Kickstarter horror story. I still have a few.
And they nailed it. Like, congrats, Catalyst. Congrats.
Yeah, they've done a good job on it. I gotta and I know this because I see the team behind the scenes having these discussions and being more concerned. So I don't know when it's gonna go to retail. I don't have that kind of information. That might be like a Tuesday talks with Rem kind of situation. She knows a lot more about that. Or if Randall does anything on his socials, or if anybody talks or streams that's from the Catalyst hierarchy. Further down, this fellow Mark Brown, welcome, came to this, says, how does Total Warfare play out with Aces? Now, Total Warfare is...
It's a part of classic Battletech.
I can answer this partially.
yeah, go ahead.
So we've run Classic here on the show a couple of times. We were actually running it tonight. We were going to run the Squirrel using Classic as a protomech.
How would he have hit your lamb? Well, that's another conversation. Keep going.
Oh, he would hit him easily. Remember, I'm only moving at +4. I'm not any faster than a dasher, right?
Total Warfare before we flare up red
So
again.
Total Warfare, it works seamlessly with vehicles right now.
Yeah, we've done many tests with it with vehicles.
So I literally ran last weekend at Tommy's Game Store and Cafe here a scenario that was classic, and the players were in mechs against an all Word of Blake vehicle force, and I use straight up decks. It's easy because you don't have to worry about overheating with vehicles. The only challenges we really had with it that you got to use your brain a little about is when to make facing changes, because unlike Alpha Strike, you have to pay for your facing change. So
right.
you got to use a little bit of nuance and be a little bit of ingenuitous with it. Otherwise, it works well. Tommy and I have used it with the mechs a few times. Again, ad-libbing here and there a little bit, but it works pretty good already.
Did Josh show you the graphic treatment?
Oh, yeah.
How sexy is that?
Yeah, they're nice.
Eyes watered. It was so good.
Nice.
Anyway, what I was saying is that, so to answer the question for Total Warfare, so for Classic, yeah, we are going to be doing some Classic sets after this. Alpha Strike is leading the charge because it's where the system is going to go for now. But we are going to be doing a Classic cases, and Josh and I have had a couple of faux dinners to talk over it, and we've got some really cool Classic notes. Paul and I have played a lot of Classic with the Aces deck. We've tried it a few times with Classic mechs, and the general instructions still apply. But the new zone mechanic, that figuring out your aims and your weaponry for zoning, and with the new logic we put together for the overheating, it actually kind of is beginning to very much resolve the different weapons, different angles, different arcs,
Yeah.
different heat sinks and heat management. It's actually starting to resolve that in such a way that it may not need that much more information to go to the first real alpha stage of testing Battletech Classic.
The one thing I can only think of that would be a headache, other than when you have the zones are gonna put you into weapon brackets for each individual mech. So
Yeah.
if you're at like a long range, obviously it's gonna be pretty easy to tell what a mech's long range capacity is, because a lot of mechs only have one or two weapons that are gonna fire long range. It's when you start getting short, it might have to do things like designate primary. You guy's always going to fire his gauss rifle regardless of the range he's
And
at, because it
ammunition
does 15
maintenance
damage.
and all that stuff.
Ammunition maintenance, and the facing changes really for the movement. Those are really the only three things that gotta.
So the question asked is, can we get a draft format for the Aces cards? It's interesting that question is asked. A lot of people, like 70 plus for sure, emails in the last little while. People have been asking, not me, but the Catalyst guys themselves, if they can get an updated print and play of the game. We're now at a stage where we're all kind of discussing internally at what point do we. I think we're kind of done with the public release. I know there's a couple of closed beta groups that are putting together and doing testing on it. Josh is in charge of that testing group thing, so I couldn't help you if you wanted to do it. And it's working out quite well. We're doing like a double blind or like a quadra blind technique. We've got different groups testing each of the different box sets we have, and none of those box sets are going to be cross-pollinating with the groups we're testing. So that way there's a little surprise for everybody to play, and that way you don't just test it out and then the product is done. You'll get a chance to really enjoy the product. So because there's obviously more than one box set coming out. And I can say that the box sets are going to be like Alpha Strike in that they're going to be packed with plastic and a whole bunch of rules and a ton of scenarios, and it's going to be gorgeous. Gorgeous.
It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be.
There are rules for all the mechs now.
Yes, we've got Missile Boat. We've got all kinds of stuff now.
There's more than one deck per roll.
Yeah,
right?
there's
you
currently there's three.
Yeah.
3 decks per roll. That's how much has been developed, and you can literally do the following: you can separate them out, and you can play them as their variants, or you can shuffle them together and deal a random 6 cards, and then you'll have a variation of how you can change the variation of how those decks play to such a degree that the replayability of this is like endless.
Well, we've been playing just one version.
We've been playing one version
at a time.
I got 6
and
cards here.
No two games have ever been the same.
Did
right?
Josh ever show you the spreadsheet?
No, I'm not allowed to see these things.
No, probably not. Oh, that makes sense. He has a spreadsheet. It's incredible. The spreadsheet has all of the initiatives laid out of all the different mechs,
Oh, he's talked about the
and
initiative.
all
yeah,
the
yeah,
different
yeah.
And it's so cool to see because the spreadsheet shows across the board the fastest a particular roll can go, the slowest the roll can go, and its average. And then when you start doing variants, how that shifts up and down the paradigm. So you can always build your lances eventually based on the speed and the initiative. You can build the enemy initiatives, which I think is anyway. It's impressive. As much as people like to ask questions to me about aces and whatnot, aces wouldn't happen if I didn't open my mouth and work my way through to Catalyst. But aces wouldn't happen if Josh wasn't able to fulfill my big mouth with his actual brains. So it's and then Dylan wrote a huge twine for the storyline of Aces. It's like we can play it. We've been playing it. We've been going through. You pick and you can actually go through the storyline, and there's like multiple endings and stuff. So you can based on win loss, based on all kinds of cool things. So there's a shite ton of stuff.
Yeah, and Kermindi, yes, there is an ambusher deck. We actually have one here. It's the elemental deck. So they're infantry. We have one of the test infantry decks.
We have it here.
Yeah,
We do. We do. We are. I know I'm teasing you guys. I'm sorry, but I'm so excited to tell you about it because I haven't been on stream for a while, and I've seen a lot of the changes.
I'm off camera, so they can't.
Well, I can see a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not enough.
Because you know someone's just going to screen cap that and go and try and dissect it.
Yeah.
Which is fine if you do. It's fine. It's not secret sauce, but oh, you got even more updated than I do. You got the yellow stripes. I don't have the yellow
I
strips.
have like the right up to the snub.
It's After Origins is new, so we'll have to get you some new ones.
Striker.
Yeah.
Striker.
Then there is questions being asked about Amaria. We just sent notes back on some artwork. It's in what we call critical stage because we're supposed to fulfill this in August, and that's probably going to happen at the end of August if we get the book to print. We will have a completed PDF for everybody sent out by Gen Con, which is the end of July, for
Very nice.
Amaria. So you'll get all that. Most of the art is complete. The layout process for Josh is happening in the middle of July. So you'll have a playable PDF, so you can dig right into your campaigns and play all the D&D you want. But the hardcover books are going to be printing when we send out the PDF. There will be a hardcover book to go along with it later. So, and then anything fulfilling. Oh yeah, there's the infantry.
I told you.
Shit.
I've been using them.
Ambusher infantry.
Yep.
Let's read something here. Aggressive. If there are any activated enemies within 12 inches, they will jump toward the target that is activated that is nearest on their broadband range. They will try to get behind the chosen target if possible.
We've hit 5 o'clock for me on my side, so I actually have to get going.
Oh, well, thanks.
I've got a couple things to take care of, but you guys have yourselves a great evening. Thank you for having me on, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Well, we don't get a shill zone. What the hell?
No, not this time.
No, it's fine. Thanks, buddy. Bye.
All right, guys.
So, let's see here. Target in base contact, occupy woods. Yeah, this is good. Balanced. Yeah, so this is good. This is good. And their combat is based on 6 inches, but they have long range? Just do infantry mechs have long range?
Depends on what their card would say, right?
Interesting.
So,
Sexy looking deck.
the elementals can shoot SRMs up to 9 hexes, right? If it's classic or medium range in Alpha Strike.
Well, I think we've got enough time for a few more questions. You got a couple more questions you want to ask me or Paul?
Man, you're just teasing us. Any news on Mario, Tommy? That was just done.
Yeah.
Phoenix Rises says my wallet's so ready. So I don't know what other things that we recently stress test with the deck. The missile boat deck is really cool.
Yeah, and there's artillery rules now for aces.
I haven't seen those yet, but
they're pretty cool.
So
artillery rules. We have artillery rules. We have brand new infantry cards. We have all of our captains.
The missile boats will actually, and I was using these last week in the campaign game against the players. The missile boats, I used 3 heavy LRM carriers. They actually will stand still and duck behind cover out of line of sight. And they have indirect fire rules right on the card.
Yeah.
The indirect fire is so specific that it gets down to that where you're picking your best target number as a spotter, that if your current IF rating is higher than that mech's current damage rating at whatever range it's at, the mech will actually forego shooting, so you don't have to pay the spotter penalty, because it knows that its ally is actually going to do more damage for him spotting, which is really cool.
Yeah, that's what was needed, and it's that AI that's going to make Classic way more realistic.
The other thing that's really cool too, Tommy didn't touch on with some of the with on the cards. The AI now will gang up on opponents. So there is a condition on the card that says when you're meeting the criteria to select a target for the AI, one of the conditions now is attacked by an ally this turn. So that's not on every card. It is thematic to whatever the role is.
It's now starting to become the dice off the board thing that we always say redundancy, right? Like take it off the board and that changes the flow. So the AI now starts to react like that. So
and it plays with the commander deck. I know on the first version of the deck when we started playing it last year, we used to stress test it and we would make it chase other side of the board because it was reacting like basically 5 individual clan warriors on the board chasing after one target. That commander deck now not only helps integrate overall lance or star or company level behavior with all the units and making them act cohesively. At the end of the turn, you flip the card over and you read a set of criteria and conditions that are current to the game state. And depending on what the game state is, it will change you to another card in the commander deck, which is more appropriate for the current state of the game. Therefore, the AI is continuing to act intelligently with what's going on. It's not just blindly trying to do whatever it's
There
going
we
to
go.
do, right?
Now we can talk. Oh wait, the card's gone.
Yeah.
Okay, listen. Can I tell you something I'm so excited for that we talked about at Origins? So I don't know what the official thing is for this, and it won't be this Gen Con, but we're thinking Adepticon might be a good opportunity for this. A world event where you can come with your friends. So like you could bring your little Fox army, right? And you could create like a star or a lance or two of the Fox units, and you would be coming to work with everybody else's units against a giant AI battle
Mhm.
that would have this like story ending effect. We'll have like tables of terrain, and it'll be considered the grand event of like because people do grinders and stuff at Gen Con and stuff like that, and Origins and things like that. So we're talking about doing grinders at various specific conventions that BattleTech has a huge presence at. We're still going to do the classic grinders, but to do like an Alpha Strike grinder where it's something that could be, and then I want to take notes about what people are doing and heroic moves and funny stories and people's weird painted mechs and stuff like that. Take photos of it, and then do like a digest or like when the next story comes out, or a novel. Saravello was talking about writing a series of novellas of the battle and talking about specific mechs doing crazy things
Yeah.
in there as an official battle that happened in the Battletech universe. I don't know about you guys. That's the kind of shit that turns me on when it comes to Battletech.
Well, yeah, BattleTech's a narrative game first.
That's the kind of stuff that makes me so excited.
It's D&D with robots.
Right. And so, I mean, that's the kind of thing that I think really adds to the Aces world building that we're doing, right? And imagine just you coming down with the Fox crew and Josh Dillon and I coming in, Lance Vander, and you playing both sides, and we come in and we work together. You know what I mean? Like you and Hanny and all those guys work together, and we gotta like work together. But like, Lorcan can fly over, and then like we get Beskar and his buddies up there, and then they all kind of create those guys create like a little lance, and they and we all are like on the same board together, and it's like an all day affair, which I wouldn't be able to do because I'd have to run and do D&D on stage. But in between, it's like an all day affair where we're all just controlling our mechs together, and we're literally playing against the AI. Catalyst doesn't even need to bring a ref. It's just straight up. It just runs itself.
Yeah.
Okay, and we were talking about Catalyst joining in. So like Randall and everybody is a lance that's fighting with the rest of the people, and we are all fighting together. Wouldn't that be wild? Tell me that would not be cool. Thumbs up if you like that.
That would be very cool.
That would be amazing. Yeah.
Very, very cool.
That's people saying. I have to read it. Yeah,
That event would be
that would be
amazing.
awesome.
Kind of like what GW used to do with the White Dwarf back in the world events. Yeah. Very
Yeah,
similar.
exactly like that. I think it's a great idea, and then people are talking about putting more to it, like novels and stuff. But I think that's a great idea. Oh, okay. Well, if that's it for questioning and stuff tonight, sorry that we didn't get into some actual gameplay battling here. Hopefully, these two lovers will figure it out for their next the next episode.
Oh, whatever. I don't care about that.
The lovers spat. The domestic tonight. We had a little domestic between two lovers.
He will be put in his place off screen. It'll all be good. It'll all be good.
He will be put in
Daddy
his place.
is going to come home and rule the roost. That is what is going to happen. It's all good. It's all good.
Daddy's gonna come home and rule the roost.
That is right.
Oh, Jesus. So should I call Red and say?
It's a good thing the Paul cam's not set up right now.
Should I go to Red and say, "Who's your daddy?" Because
who's
Priority
your
Paul
daddy?
Clarkson's coming in.
Big Daddy Battletech.
Red is on the couch tonight. Says Phoenix Rises. Oh, we love Red.
Red is a
So
good
here's
friend.
the thing. Here's all things considered. Like since we always just like talk things out, I love the lamb. I love the idea of the lamb. I think it's cool. I wish that its gameplay was a little more.
So
together.
here's how I'll say this as a longtime player, 34 years in now. Okay,
That's it.
lambs have a place. Their place is in narrative gameplay. It is not at a tournament. It is not in pickup gameplay. It is not for competitive gameplay. Okay, they're experimental rule level for a reason. What we do here is
Yeah.
narrative gameplay.
Yeah.
We're telling stories, right? I've been using the lamb for a year. This is not meant to pick on Red or anything like that. It's you if you're gonna play it, you have to play it in a campaign setting. You have to play it in some sort of RP setting.
Yeah.
They
yeah.
are the rule of cool. They are
They
the
are pretty cool.
they
The
are
thing is,
they,
the thing is pretty badass.
they are the sole
How
reason.
cool that thing is.
That's a kit bash. That so, they are the sole reason a ton of people even play BattleTech.
Yeah,
They're
I
the
mean,
they're the reason a lot of us got into
look,
the
they're
game because we,
badass.
we love Robotech,
look,
right?
you don't have to sell me, dudes. They love their Transformers.
You need to be responsible with them, and that is the biggest thing. If anybody asks, I know, like literally in the last 3 to 4 weeks, lambs have been a hot button topic online. Our friends Josh and Denham at Mech Bay Podcast, they just did an episode a week ago about lambs. Red's got a video about how he hates lambs.
Yeah,
coming
it's coming out. Yeah.
The guys that there's another guy, science of something. He just did a thing on lambs, and it's hot button topic. And there are people that don't like them for gameplay mechanic reasons.
Yeah.
There are some guys like with Red saying
It's
not even wrong. Like there are some narrative gameplay mechanic parts to it that don't make sense. But at the end of the day, you should always have things in a game that people enjoy and that people have fun with.
Right, and so I think that I think what I'm saying about as a designer, I would immediately go and change the rules of the lamb to play it for the rule of cool. And I know what you're saying there. And I was telling Josh this at Origins about you. I was saying I can't even fault you for pushing the agenda of the lamb in our games because I know you love it so much that you want to keep playing it because you want it to become a reality. This is how I got aces. I just kept pushing the agenda on Catalyst until I got it. So you never know. It's just your stalwartness to try and get it in the system is great. We are talking to Catalyst about some aerospace rules, so there might be an opportunity for us even to do some adjustments to the lambs to make it more palatable to play a game.
You know what?
I think it's just too fast.
Well, here's the challenge.
Somebody wrote way earlier in the chat, you should play like an LXC7 or something. It was like some.
No. They just wanted me to transform in the robot mode, and
No,
that's
no,
what
no,
I was
no,
going to
no,
do.
no, no.
So
Let
essentially,
me
what
go-
I did
oh,
here
it's
tonight,
gone.
guys, I
I
created a small
reset this by
board so I
accident.
couldn't do anything too
I
crazy
reset
with
this
it.
by accident. There's so I can't see what they wrote. But if you wrote it, I think it was Lorcan or someone. It was like ask Paul to play like an LC7 3M or something is what it was. I guess it was a brand of lamb. A brand lamb?
There's wasps, there's stingers, there's Phoenix Hawk lambs, and then you get into the Jihad era, which are the Waneta lamb, the Prita, I
Was
think.
it LRX 37M or some shit?
No.
I don't know. The acronyms are all lost on me.
But anyways, with the problem is not their speed. The problem is
that does help.
No, but it's not actually the speed. What it is that all tabletop war games have always had a challenge, and Red will talk about this, and him and I are on the same page with this. When it comes to air superiority and air support in tabletop games, it's
always
very difficult to have a game balance, to have balanced gameplay, because like in real life, air superiority rules the day, and how is it you're going to create rules so you can make miniatures that Paul and Tommy and everybody that's watching are going to buy, so you can actually have them on the board long enough to actually make it worth your while to actually spend your money on them, right?
Yeah.
So that's a nuance and a balance, and
I think they're a lot more balanced in Alpha Strike than they are in Classic. So, because I've seen you get your butt smoked.
So in Classic, they are below average if you just use them straight out of the pot as a 4/5 pilot. Okay,
right.
They're not that easy to use. They're not that effective. That's why a lot of people out there will say the Lamb is a jack of all trades. It's a master of nothing, and it's not very good. It's not very effective.
Right.
Whereas I will say the exact opposite. I'll beat you hands down, one-on-one, any game, any weight class, any BV.
With a lamb.
Anybody out there with my Phoenix Hawk Lamb, I will beat you with any mech you want.
See,
why? Because I will buy down the guy's piloting skill. And once I've bought down the piloting skill, then all the things that Red doesn't like about it and some other players out there don't like about it, it does become broken. Why? Because I no longer really have to suffer from the penalties of turn mode. So the way
So you can always outmaneuver.
the way turn modes work is that if you're going X speed, you have to move so far forward before you get a free facing change.
That's right.
So when I'm cruising at 23, my turn mode's like 6 or 4 or whatever it is, right? I have to move that far forward and then make a facing change. If I want to make a facing change before that, well, I have to make a piloting skill modifier modified by the number of hexes I am under before my next free facing change.
Right.
So if I'm at a 4 pilot and I'm at turn mode 5 and I try to make 2 successive turns, well, I'm trying to make a piloting skill check on a 10. If I fail it, I'm going to side slip and then do things like, crash at 15 hex speed into the side of a building and
then you're
explode, right? Well, if I got a 2 piloting, that becomes a 7.
That's more realistic.
Then I start doing the Robotech things that make it very difficult for people to compensate against, right? That's where it becomes highly agile, highly maneuverable.
All righty. Well, I think we are in wrap-up stage. So thanks for joining us for Friday Night Aces, where we were able to turn it more into a discussionary podcast and reconnect with everybody. I thank Red for coming on and being a guest. And Red and Paul they'll announce their engagement plans later.
I love Red.
And of course, there was a significant amount, thanks to Sergeant Ork and Beskar, of donated memberships. A whole pile of people that threw in super chats. Thank you so much for.
We did not get to see
the squirrel.
The squirrel tonight.
We're gonna get the squirrel.
There he is. There's the squirrel.
Right.
You see him?
Yeah.
We will get to Luthor next week.
Kerman Day and Beskar and everybody that donated the super chats tonight. Master, what's the other one? Earthquake Johnson for the membership. Oh my God, I should have wrote this all down. For everybody that donated wonderfully and asked all the questions, we appreciate you very much for everything you do. We'll be back again soon. I'll be back next week. We'll just throw down a good old-fashioned brawl with some aces to try to test out the new aces decks. I'll try and drag Josh down here so we can do it. And Paul, anything else you want to say?
That's it. Have a good night, everybody.
Good
Have
night,
a great
everybody.
long weekend.
Yes.
We'll see you next week.
Happy Canada Day for those who are Canadian, and happy Canada Day adjacent for those that aren't.
4th of July.